Today's the day we're crossing from the United States to the Bahamas by sailboat. Since we will be traveling by night, we have the whole day to prep the boat and to get ready for this big trip.
I was just checking the V-belt tension is good, looking at the part number so we can buy a spare part.
That's the motor. It needs to be checked regularly to make sure that everything rolls.
I think we're set.
We also realized that fishing equipment and snorkeling equipment would be way better to get in the States and not in the Bahamas. I also made usage of the shower we had access to for 24 hours. On the boat we do not have a shower, and I probably won't have internet for a few days. I'm really not used to not having access to internet. And then we decided to have one last American meal before leaving this country. Up we go. One last thing was to tie up the dinghy onto the boat. Usually we just carry it behind us on a string, but on more complicated travels, you usually want to tie it onto the boat. You also want to make sure that nothing can fall off the boat, even in stronger winds. This is here so that the drawers don't open. When we're in high sea and the boat is heeling, this could open. For it not to open, put this tray here. And voila. And just like this, we're fixing everything inside the boat and hope for nothing to fall out.
We'll leave from here, from the point here. There's a patch of wind down there, but we're gonna be leaving like this. Around 2 in the morning, we might catch some wind.
So we're taking out the sails. And we're leaving in 10 minutes.
Where to?
To the Bahamas! So for this trip, we're crossing the Gulf Stream. And the Gulf Stream brings a lot of heat and can influence the weather a lot. And that's the reason why we're going by night. The temperature changes are not as strong. Winds will not be as strong. And we want to do it in a smooth ride. Another reason is because we want to arrive when it's light out and not dark out. So we're currently leaving at about 8 o'clock p.m. During the night, it was very hard to film because it was so dark out, but we were lucky because this moon was shining. I actually had a couple of naps whilst Renaud was sailing the boat. I was waking up by the sunrise, and it was a lot easier to stay awake when there was light out.
At the speed we're going, we should be at anchor by
2 p.m. I got ourselves some cute looking drinks for the ride, but they were just not really it.
Oh!
We were lucky because the night was warm and we could stay outside for the whole ride.
Because we're in the middle of the ocean, safety is very important. We are actually always attached to the boat. I have this leash attached here, and Renaud has one as well. But we also have this thing right here called a jackknife. For any reason I have to go in front, I can attach myself and I can slide in front. And then this one is called the lifeline. This is just to hold on. It's not very high, so you could just fall over easily. Also, as you can see, I'm wearing a life jacket. As soon as it touched the water, it would inflate itself to a big life vest. So it's just one-time use, so we're not joking around or jumping to the water.
Especially when it's dark out and when the sea is choppy, it's important to have these security measures. We don't always wear these for every single ride. We were lucky because the conditions were super stable for the majority of this ride. So I could even give Renaud a little time out and he had a nap for himself. At the end, the total duration of our trip was about 18 hours. We did get some good wind and had the sails out for the whole duration of the trip, but we were using the motor as well. Because of my month here on the ship, I actually also want to learn how to become an actual sailor. Today, I had my first class in knots. There's a bunch of knots that are also used in acrobatic rigging, so that's always good to know. And I learned all the basics of sailing knots today. I had a good laugh when I saw that the handle of the winch was made in West Germany. It clearly gives a good idea from when this was built. To enter the Bahamas, we have to clear customs, which we will do where the red flag is on this map, but we're going to anchor for one night in the anchor point because it's way too long to do this in one shot. After just seeing the ocean 360 around us, finally there is a bit of land.
Till we clear customs, you have to have that flag, and we cannot go to land. But we're clearing customs only tomorrow. Tonight we're just doing a little stopover and a bath with the sharks.
The crossing went super successful. First thing after dropping the anchor was actually to take a good swim. Tomorrow we're getting up early again to go to the next location to clear customs, and then it's time to discover